Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone had a nice weekend, or Sunday at least, and or if you were here at home, that you enjoyed the game on Saturday, and then had a good Sunday. So obviously, we're very excited about going into the bye week with a victory. It's always a great way to start a bye. We'll be on the practice field today, tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll go. Spiders today, shoulder pads tomorrow, full pads on Wednesday. We'll lift them on Thursday and then take 2 days off before we start up again Sunday. So obviously great challenge ahead of us with Oregon State. So we know that that's going to take a lot of our time and efforts as we get going. Looking back on the past game, I thought this past game we played as good as a team as I can remember us playing. I think we've said that a couple times this season, and it's gotten better each time. And this was certainly our best effort. After the first drive on defense, I think they had 117 or 119 yards the rest of the game. Offensively, we moved the ball 8 different times into scoring territory, 5 touchdowns, 3 field goals. We only punted twice. Both of those one was off of a sack, and one was off of a holding penalty and a false start in the same drive. So when we didn't have a negative play, we scored. And I think that's a huge part of being successful as an offense. You know, went back and really looked at our team from 7 games of a year ago to 7 games now, and I can tell you the biggest difference is the defense. Our defense is playing at an elite level. Offensively, we have 16 less explosive plays than we did a year ago. We had 89 after 7 games last year. We have 73 after 7 games this year. We have the same amount of turnovers last year and this year. But the biggest difference, obviously, is we're doing a fantastic job of having long, sustained drives. We're continuing to score over 30 points a game. And I think we're sitting there in the top 25 in total offense, 23 this year, 20 last year. But defensively is where we've made just enormous strides. Offensively a year ago, defensively this year. And we are sitting here now defensively talking in a situation where last year we were giving up 209 yards a game rushing. This year we're giving up 96 yards a game. When you look at explosives from a year ago till now, I think there's like a 27 less explosives in 7 games. Takeaways, we've taken the ball away 8 times this year. We've only took it away 3 times last year. So when you look at those type things, that's to me where the difference is. We made a big commitment saying a year ago we were going to go from where we were on offense, we needed to get really good on offense. And we committed to that last year. And I think we went from 120th to 20th. And we've remained there. We're 20th, we're 23rd in total offense this year. Now we wanted to make that same commitment in defense, and we've done that. So we got 5 more games. We got to see how good we can be. We got to see if we can earn our right for 6 games and 7 games, whatever that might be, and we're going to do everything we possibly can do to get there. So we're going to practice harder, work harder, and see how good we can be.
What can you say about the collaborative effort the defensive coaches have made, especially with a guy like Coach Aquina added to the staff?
I think adding Coach Aquina and Coach Richardson has been enormous for our program. Those 2 guys have done an amazing job of coaching the corners and the secondary in total, along with Coach Cecil, Coach Nansen, and Coach Kafusi. As a group, they've done a tremendous job. Now you add in Coach Humley's role, and then you add in what all of our young guys, and I can't, they don't get enough credit, the graduate assistants and quality control coaches, and how much they commit to this as well. But the collective group of 11 that work on the defense have really done a great job with our players. They game plan together, they meet together, they really try to figure out the best way to stop an offense. I saw today that Michael Penix, Caleb, and Cam Ward have thrown 57 touchdown passes combined, on only 1 against Arizona. So when you look at the way that those guys are, that we're defending the elite quarterbacks, I would say that's really based upon the work that the defensive staff has done together.
After the game, you were unable to comment on it, but is there a change at quarterback moving forward?
No, I think right now, being in the bye week, that as we're evaluating where we are and as a team where we've been, we're very fortunate. 2 is better than none. So we have an ability to continue to grow in that position, grow in that quarterback room, and see how good both those guys can get. I think we all saw when Jaden went out there to take a knee. That was quite a hobble out there. That wasn't a very pretty jog. So I think we really have to see how this ankle's coming along as we continue to work through what we're going to do.
You guys played, as you said, maybe your best all-around game that you've had. Kind of very hard to nitpick anything that you did that day. You have time off now. How do you make sure that there's no sense of complacency that sets in, or that the guys remain sharp and focused?
Yeah, well, we're not going to take too much time off for that exact reason. I mean, we believe that we're sitting in a position where we got to play good a week from Saturday. So we'll give the players 2 days off, but they were in here yesterday getting treatment. They were in here today lifting at 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., depending on their groups. We're practicing each day. They'll be lifting again on Thursday, and then, they can watch football on Saturday and hopefully get hungry to go play. And then when we come out Sunday in full pads, we're going to roll. And we're not going to be complacent in anything. We played, some good football as of late against some really good teams. Those are 3 top 20 teams in a row. And we feel like if you look at how we played, we sat there within a touchdown against Washington, within 2 points against SC on the road, and then played our best football on the road again. So we have 1 airplane trip left out of 5 games. And, this is the time that we can see how good we can be.
Russell Davis Sr. had some really kind words about the defense and just kind of his son's progression. Can you talk a little bit about just Deuce and what he's been able to do, and what his future looks like going forward?
Yeah, we were talking about him a little bit today. I think he had 20 plays in the game. We only had 52 defensive snaps the whole game. So our defensive, we had no interior D lineman had more than 19 plays. No defensive. Upshaw had the most at 30. And then Deuce and Isaiah both had 20 and 26, I think. Deuce had his best game against SC, maybe a coming out party in terms of sacks. But what you see from Deuce is he's gained about 21 pounds since he's been here. Still looking to gain about another 15 over the next 12 months. And what he's able to do is, especially in games where he's a disruptor, he can truly disrupt the passer. He can challenge tackles. He is extremely strong, like on the high end of strong for his weight. And so he has both a bull rush, a spin move, and really an up and under that he can teams that want to drop back and pass and not just open up the alignments. And he's going to do a great job of giving you a great pass rush and setting the edge. And he's developing and getting better. And that class of 22 is proving themselves to be exactly what we hoped and thought they were going to be.
Early on this season and last year, when Speedy would get carries, they seemed to be out on the edge, trying to take advantage of his speed. But lately, you've been running in between the tackles, which seems surprising, maybe considering his size. Why is that? Why are you doing that? And why do you think it's working?
Yeah, I think what Speedy's one of those as well that you kind of get caught up a little bit initially of like, I'm going to bring him in and use him as a scat back, or I'm going to use him kind of in the slot, or give him toss cracks, or kind of get him out there in the perimeter. And then when you watch him run in practice and you see as he's gained about 8 or 9 pounds since he's been here and gotten stronger, and his vision's gotten that he's comfortable running in between the tackles, it gives you a chance to get to the second level. And we saw what happened when he got to the second level. His speed showed up, even though it was an A-gap run. I think with him now, he gives us the ability to do any of it. He's proven now we don't just have to give him a jet sweep, or we don't have to just toss the ball in the perimeter. And what that's enabled us to do now is when Mike Wiley comes back, which, again, I'm hopeful for a week from Saturday, but we couldn't even get him dressed really to be able to fully participate in warm-ups on Saturday, that we got 4 backs that are pretty tough to tackle and that can all do both. I think we saw DJ had that one toss crack play that got called back because of a holding, but we saw his speed down the sideline as well. So it's nice to be able to do everything with all of them.
Jedd, 2 questions. First one being that obviously I asked you last week about your loud fan base and how you deal with that. In terms of the players, though, how do you, if you maybe not control, but manage factions not developing around who starts and who doesn't start? That would be the first one.
Yeah, I don't listen to I don't look at Twitter or anything like that, so I don't know what that sounds like. But I would say within our own locker room, pretty clear cut that our team loves one another. And if you watched the TV copy of the game, you saw everybody rooting for everybody. If you saw the last play where we gave Jayden a chance to take a knee on that field, you saw the embrace that occurred between Noah and Jayden. If you saw the way T-Mac responded when DJ or Jonah had that final touchdown run, and you watched T-Mac running up and down the sidelines going crazy, he wasn't worried about if he got a touchdown catch or not in that game. I think what we've really worked hard on is the culture of family. We don't just say it, we actually live by it. And we're working very, very hard to let the coaches make the decisions that they have to make on who's going to play in the game, and then whomever's playing in the game, let's be the best supporters you possibly can be. And I've seen that as a team, and I hope to continue to see that within our team.
And then the cross route to Coleman early in the game, and not to say that wasn't a play you run before, but it didn't necessarily look familiar. How much are you adding plays as you go along through the season?
Yeah, well, it's a challenge as a coaching staff to constantly look to see what plays you could run off of other plays, what things you can do off of formations that you've already put into play. It's plays that we ran that play against the Packers in 2018. So it's not plays that we've never run, but there's certain times that you put in certain plays against certain defenses that you feel like you could get and hit on. And if you can do that, we'll certainly take advantage of those opportunities, which we did on Saturday.
How does Jayden utilize this time other than recovering from the actual injury to grow as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think Jayden's, there's a lot of learning that goes into not playing. Number one is learning how to rehab, learning how to spend your days in the training room when you've never had to do that, preparing yourself to help the person in front of you if you're not necessarily accustomed to doing that. You've always been the person in front. How you work together and communicate what you see on the sideline, seeing it from a different perspective. How to get your schoolwork done during times when you're not necessarily the starting quarterback, and how much work you can work ahead. There's a lot of different things that he's been able to do during this time. And it's obviously challenging when you don't have that chance to, when you're not going out there and knowing you're the starting quarterback on every Saturday the last 3 weeks, and knowing that you're not going to go out there and start based on injury. But there's going to be, this has gone on everywhere. I saw 7 quarterbacks got knocked out yesterday in the NFL. 7 different quarterbacks got hurt during the games. There was 4 backups that already started on Sunday. So you're talking about 11 backups potentially might be starting next Sunday in the NFL. That's just the nature of the beast. So what these guys need to do is they need to learn how to be those backups. I think that it's a great credit. I mean, you look at the Browns, right? So they started DTR last week. Then DTR didn't get to start this week. Deshaun still wasn't playing. Then they started PJ, and they go and beat the 49ers. So you just don't know how it's all going to work itself out. So what your job is to just learn, grow, mature, and be a great teammate.
So Noah winning back-to-back Freshman of the Week awards for the Pac-12, what have you learned about him during this 3-game stretch of 3 top 20 opponents?
Well, first of all, that's awesome that he won back-to-back Freshman of the Week. I found that out on my way downstairs. I think he completed 78% of his passes or something to that effect, which is also a fantastic number. I think as a team, we're completing like 70% of our passes. But Noah has proven what we believed Noah was when we recruited him and signed him here and brought him in. And Noah committed to us when we were 1-11, coming off of a 1-11 season. And there's a belief in one another, there's a trust in one another, and there's a growth that occurred with Noah every time he goes out there. That this kid's going to out-prepare everybody he's going to face. He's going to do an amazing job of investing time into the game of football. He's going to work extremely hard on the practice field and make practice the most important thing to him. And then in addition, he's going to just make sure all of his life is in order. So I've learned a ton from Noah. Keep watching him grow and keep seeing what a great teammate he is.
The putting Jaden in to take the knee at the end of the game, was that something that was pre-planned or spur of the moment?
With about 3.5 minutes left, I said to him, you want to go in and take a knee? And his face lit up. And he said, I would really appreciate it if you'd let me do that. So then I told Noah that Jaden's going to go in and take the knee. And Noah said, only if I could be the receiver in the back. So then I had to kick Cowling out to not be the receiver in the back of the take a knee. Because Noah wanted to make sure he was the first person to hug Jaden after we won the game.
One more question for you. Have you guys used motion more the last 2 weeks than the first 5 weeks? And whether you have or not, what impact does that have on the defense?
Yeah, I don't know what the analytics would say on that. If we have or have not, we are a motion team. Since I went to the Rams, I wasn't a huge motion team at UCLA when I was the play caller there. But when I went to the Rams, really started investing time into how motion can give your quarterback a lot of answers to the test ahead of time, and then also how you can manipulate the defense in certain ways and change the math, so to speak, in terms of how you can get better angles and better box counts and different coverages. So this offseason, we invested a lot of time in our motion game. I don't know if we necessarily early on how much we used it when we were playing NAU or UTEP or when we got behind against Mississippi State. I think we probably went a little more tempo, which is less motion. But these rest of the games, we certainly have committed to it and will continue to.
What's your plan for recruiting this week? I know you can't talk about certain prospects, but what do you just think about just the makeup of the upcoming class?
Yeah, Thursday and Friday, the coaches will all be out across the country. We've got to enter into Big 12 country here. So we'll have some guys entering into Big 12 country on Thursday and Friday. And then others will stay out here on the West Coast. And I'll be out on the West Coast and then in Tucson on Friday. You can see me at a high school game on Friday night in Tucson.
All right, that's our time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.